anytime there's a mention of battling adversity, which he's talking about, didn't necessarily use the word adversity, but that's what we're talking about early in this season.
Yeah.
Have they passed any smell test for you when it comes to adversity at this point?
Some, just because it started, were they at 500 after that West Coast road trip blew? They played terribly against teams they should have beat. So there is the adversity of you can let it go in that direction and fire the coach and blame each other, or you can just start playing better. And to me, they did dig in a little bit after that, so I'll give them some credit. Here's the
little bit and some.
Yeah, and here's where I'll be critical of it is, you learn a lot about your team. It's the same team. The same team you've had for 5 years. The core is the same. That's what we're trying to learn about.
Yeah, the core is. But
so what, you learned about Cali Yarncroc this weekend?
Yeah, cores don't win you Stanley Cups.
What kind of statement is that?
Teams win you Stanley Cup. They did change. They changed their team. They did.
Cores win you Stanley Cups. Come on.
No, teams.
All right.
Teams.
Okay.
4 lines.
So you think he's
defense,
learned something from these games that he didn't know already?
7 defense, 8 defense win you Stanley Cups. Guys that can
Mac
come
Hollowell on the depth chart?
Okay, where did Matt... Hold on for a second.
No, Mac's been around. He's been around.
Sammy does our... what do you call it?
Lineup
itinerary. I don't know what it is. And he's got on the bottom Hollowell. And I'm like... What's a Hollowell?
He's been around.
Has he?
Yeah, he played for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds for 5 years.
He's a former Sault Ste. Marie kid. He was with the team when Joe Thornton was here a little bit because I remember Instagram pictures. But, they got Dahlstrom is hurt, who was supposed to be a guy they call up.
Yeah.
Kral's been in games. He's hurt. He's not involved. Mette's hurt. He's not, they're pretty far down here. We're looking at number 10.
The first thing I did when I saw his name, and I've never seen him before, never heard of him before.
Okay.
What's the first thing I did?
Google?
Yes. But what specifically was I looking at?
Height. How to spell his name?
No.
Height?
Yeah. How big? How big is he?
Yeah, not big.
How big is Hollowell?
He's lean, right?
I can say he's like 5.
No, he's
5'9".
No, he's way bigger than that.
Is he?
No.
What do you mean no?
5'9".
Yeah, I thought so.
Which means he's really like 5'8" or 5'7.5".
He's not that.
He's 5'9", 170.
5'9". Another little guy.
All right.
Just saying.
Not saying.
I think they got to get bigger.
Yes.
They got to get bigger.
They need someone like a Jordy Ben.
Jordy
Ben, what a star. We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's work through the Dubas clips.
We'll get there. Okay, so I get the spin on some. How'd you phrase it? Some things I like, or some things are getting better.
Yeah, well,
a little.
You learn
said
a little.
A little.
Yeah.
Is it still too early to assess that if they've learned anything from the adversity so far? Are you past that?
No, it's not too. Or sorry, it is. What am I trying to say?
Is it still
questionable? They've been through this before where they embarrass themselves against teams they should beat, and then they come back and they play good against good teams, and we go, they figured it out. Okay. And then they play a bad team and show us they haven't learned. So I'm not.
So it's jury's still out?
Yes. I'm not reaching a conclusion.
I agree. It can be like, it's good when there's adversity. There's been adversity for 5 years.
And they're good in the adversity.
Yeah, within the regular season.
Right.
But at the most important time of the year.
But the regular season right now is, even coming through the weekend, the optics are they're a middle-of-the-pack team so far. They haven't shown elite status, which we had them.
Goal differential of +1
of the season.
Yeah.
We had them as one of the top 6 teams that was, if not challenged for the Atlantic Division, could even end up with the most points at the end of it for a President's Trophy. No signs of that. Today, they are a 500 hockey club, which everybody is.
I mean, they're better than 500. They're 8-5-3 or something right now. They're
this is where
they're exactly 500. They have 8 wins and 8 losses.
This is where you look at the 8-5-3 and go, ooh, and it's like, no, they're 500. They've won 8 out of 16 starts. That is,
and they've tied 3 of them.
500 team, which puts them amongst 15 teams right now, where you're one game above 500 or a game or two below 500.
Here's what the Atlantic Division. Here's the wins by teams. Boston, 14. Toronto, 8. Tampa, 8. Florida, 8. Detroit, 7. Montreal, 8. Buffalo, 7. Ottawa, 5. So it's like all these teams are within one win of each other.
Yep.
So up until now, we're dealing with a 500 hockey club.
Sure.
Which I think...
I'm going to allow that and not dig in because they're not, but okay. There's 3 ties then. What are the 3 ties? Is it a win if you win in overtime? That counts as a win, but it's not.
If they were still a tie, would that make you feel better if there was a tie column?
Yes.
Yeah, bring back ties.
Would they still be a 500 team if there was a tie column?
They'd have 8 wins and 16 is your point?
Yes.
Okay. If all you care about is the wins, sure. Yes. They've only lost
give
5
me
times.
all the credit, not some of it.